What's good? What is good, my good YouTube people, man? It's your host B3, and we're back with another Chainsaw Man chapter 121, man. And I just got a question to ask you guys, man. What does everybody want, man? I'm really trying to figure out what everybody wants because I'm getting a little confused. I know Denji wants a harem. Asa wants to be loved or have friendship. Yuru wants weapon. What does Yoshida want? I'm thinking Yoshida wants Denji at this point, because Yoshida's motives seem to be somewhat inconsistent as in the late chapters. Because at first, he was a person to introduce Denji to Asa, and now he's saying stay away from Asa. And it's very weird because Yoshida is also the only one to ever notice Asa's scars. So it really just makes me question, what does he have planned? Because the time between meeting Asa and wanting Denji to stay away from Asa, the only new equation that is added to this will have to be Fam, or the Famine Devil, and her possibly being attached to Asa/Yoro. This new information is what I believe is why Yoshida wants Asa to stay away from Denji, because of Famine. Because beforehand, he possibly knew that Asa had a devil or had some form of powers because he was the only one to notice the scars, and Famine had direct contact with Asa, and Yoshida might have seen this. And Yoshida's plan for Denji is to take away the dead devil. And maybe in Yoshida's head, he's saying he kind of want to deal with his main horseman now. He doesn't want to deal with multiple horsemen at the same time. So he feels like the best bet will be to keep Asa away from Denji, so that once they focus on that, then maybe he can focus on later on plans. But I believe he just wants to isolate Asa from Denji so that the Famine Devil won't interact with his plans, because she did trap them in the aquarium, and he himself kind of had no plan of no idea how to get out. He was trying to find his best solution ever. So I feel like Yoshida feels like the Famine Devils have ulterior motives that doesn't coincide with his plans, which I kind of referenced in last chapter. So he himself is trying to break all ties with Denji and the Famine Devil and have Denji on the path to taking down the Death Horseman. Now, on the topic of Denji himself is now going through some inner conflicts in himself. Because as Naita is playing with them Chainsaw Man buns, Denji feels like he has lost his main purpose. Because overall goal was to get at least a girlfriend. And now that he thinks about it, he can't get too close to anyone because of Naita's rules. So he kind of feels like everything has been pointless, and now he's in this desperate state in which he wants to do nothing. But Naita doesn't want this, because she does like to see Denji fight as Chainsaw Man. So she motivates him into pursuing a newer goal, a new passion, in which she states, if you turn into Chainsaw Man, lots of people will like you. You could get way more love that way than from a girlfriend. Doesn't that sound super awesome? And the Denji said, let me think about it. Hell yeah. Which it's so weird, because for the longest time, Denji's motivation has been to have at least one girlfriend. Well, if I'm being honest, probably 10. What if I'm being honest, probably 20? Well, if I'm being honest, all of them. But on a serious note, Denji's motivation for the longest time has been to have a girlfriend. And it's kind of weird now, because I don't know how to feel about this, because I feel like this is a sign of maturity, yet at the same time, I don't know. Because now it seems like he just wants fans, which is something I believe he already has. I don't understand what this new motivation for Denji is. I'm a little bit confused by it, because it makes it sound like Denji's not going to aim for a girlfriend, but just aim to have fans. But I feel like Denji already has that. Maybe I'm not fully understanding the text here. And even though I'm confused, I'm not gonna lie, seeing what Denji's new motivation will look like for his character is interesting. Because for the longest time, I will say this, Denji will save one hot girl over the Prime Minister of Japan or the President of the United States. But saving the President of the United States would probably get him more love/fans. So I wonder where his priorities lies now. Because it does seem like he's trying to go after fans. Maybe the translation this chapter was a little bit off, or maybe I'm just not fully understanding. But I do want to know what it looked like to see him have a new motivation set in mind. Will it be more fame, or would it still be the girls? I am curious to see how Denji's new motivation will develop him later on in the future. And as Denji's gained a new motivation, Asa is losing hers, which is a nice touch right there. Ooh, former protagonist and now new protagonist. I love to see it. And I'm not gonna hold you. What I was going through, it was a lot for me to unpack. It was very depressing for me. Like I couldn't figure like most of what is going on, but I think I got a rough idea of what she is going through. Asa herself is trying to convince herself that she herself is a person that's better off by herself or in solitude. But she's a way more happier person with others. The problem is she doesn't know how to connect with others or to be around others or to stay with others for a long period of time. So she's trying to convince herself that she's overall better by herself. And there's a slight tidbit to this. She also views herself as a selfish person. And by viewing herself like that, she thinks that she deserves to be alone, or wanting companionship is something that she's not deserving because of how selfish she is as a person. And these factors all coming together is what leading to her depression and lack of self-worth. And it mainly comes down with like Asa doesn't fully understand what it's like to be human, which is kind of a weird thing to say, but that's kind of how people are. Like, even if you're selfish, you still want to be around others. Like, you can be the world's greatest liar. You can be the person that lies to your whole family, your whole friends and everything, but you would hate to be lied to. That's just how people are. Like, it's just how people are. Like, people get hurt and no one likes to be hurt. And it's just something she doesn't understand about herself or about other people, maybe because she's not around enough people, and that's what's really holding her up and hicking her up. And it even comes to a point where she even thinks about self-deletion. And then before that, someone actually gets self-deleted, which is another nice little touch. I shouldn't be laughing. And then Yura says something isn't right and then completely takes over. And then we see a whole bunch of people looking at her, which I saw on Twitter. It could possibly be a reference to the movie The Happening. And with there being this many people, I actually am concerned of what type of devil it is. I feel like it might be the Justice Devil this time, because Justice Devil is the only devil that seems to have this many people around them. And maybe this was also a devil that Nayata herself was picking up on, because Nayata did say she smelled a nasty devil. So this actually could mean that Yuru and Chainsaw Man will meet again, because Denji himself, with his new motivation, is probably going to go hunt down some devils now. So they might actually get another meeting, which makes me look forward to the next chapter. And that's pretty much all I have to say. This chapter was, I'd say, very solid. It's kind of the calm before the storm, letting people up. Like, the new motivations are throwing me off. I don't know if I'm fully right or fully wrong. I just want to know what it looks like. But what do you guys think? Am I right? Am I wrong, man? Please leave a comment in the comment section. Leave a like if you like the video. It's been B3, and stay animated.